All right, good afternoon, YouTube. So I've gotten some questions about these hay bales and exactly how the tractor does with them. So we're gonna go over this today. I've done a few videos on these before. They generally at more adverse weather conditions. So today it's November of 2025. Just gonna kind of measure these out and show y'all best of my ability what we're dealing with here. So handy dandy Stanley here, trying to run one-handed. So I mean, as you can tell, they are 4 foot by, let's see here, pretty it's up there. Oh, we'll call it 44. You know how hay bales are, they're not exact. Let's do this one over here. That's the end there. There's 4 foot there. And maybe my farmer gave me the wrong ones. Yeah, this one's a lot closer. This is 4 foot there. That right there. So these are 4 foot by 4 foot by 8 foot. This one might be a little bit more difficult. Bear with my camera work here, people. Don't do this on the ground. This is a lot harder than it looks. All right, let's see here. There's 7 foot. All right, there we go. Foot for a third person here. So that's at the end there. Yeah, we're at like 7.5 here. So essentially these are 4 by 4 by 8s. That's what they call it in the hay world. But no, rarely are two bales the exact same. So anyways, these bales weigh anywhere between 1,600 to 1,800 pounds. Kind of depends on the grass, the moisture content, and things like that. So we're gonna go ahead and try and pick all 4 of these, not at once, not 2 at a time. My hay forks, I don't think can handle that. So we're gonna do 1 at a time. I'm gonna run them over yonder to the horses and stack them and cover them up there. So bear with me and we'll get you some footage of that. One thing to note here, it is really difficult to see on camera. However, my tire is in a depression right there. This is an old kind of ditch slash water control deal, but there is some depression here. There's a little rise right in here. When you're doing this, look at the ground you're working with so your tractor doesn't tip. Now, as you can tell, I'm bobtail here. I don't have any counterweight in the back. I do have my rear tires filled, but even with this setup, I'm very confident, even at too high, I can pick that one, and we'll get that right now. Okay, we are back in the cab here. Now, here's the thing. I only have 2 forks and not 3 or 4. If you have 3 or 4, you don't have to be as precise when you go in, but with only 2, I need to be like dead nuts on balance center of the bale to pick this without having the loader twist or feeling unstable on the ground or whatever. So we're gonna reline up here. Currently in high. I'm gonna shift this in medium. You can always tell when you're in high because it likes to whine and moan. So let's see here. Yep, a little too far to the right. And this is much harder one-handed than you might think it is. However, this is what you're getting from me. Alright, so now see that vertical bar? That's what I'm really looking at right here. Trying to line that up the center with this bale. When I get closer, you can tell that little ravine slash dip in the depression of the ground. I can feel it, and it tilts my forks as I'm coming forward, so we gotta watch that. I'm may have to repick this thing just so I can get my forks more level. Alright, so we're in. That looks like a pretty good spot for me. I'm going to curl up just a little bit, lift up. Okay. I'm going to back up gingerly. Now, I do not travel with it this high. I do the bare minimum I need to, and then I let it down as gently as possible. And I like to carry it right around in there somewhere. See my tractor twisted and everything. That's from that little ditch thing. Alright, so I have so much weight on my front that my rear tire is spinning. So I'm going to shift this thing into four-wheel drive. And now we're going. Okay, I'm going to shift out of four-wheel drive. So I'm going to be doing some turning up here. Alright. We're still in medium range. Kick it into high here. There we go. Oh. Man, I can really tell I do not have anything on the back here. My rear tires just spun just a little bit when I gave it the go juice in high. So that, you know, all that's telling me is that this bale has some weight to it. And I usually carry these with like a box blade on the back. Granted, a box blade is not very heavy. It's not anything to really write home about. Alright, we're going to got all my building material out here that I haven't decided where to put yet, and the gutters need to still get up, which my contractor needs to get on. We're going to weave through here. Again, not perfectly level ground. It's going to go into medium. Now I am flying kind of blind here, so I'm going to raise this up just a little bit. I know it doesn't get tight in here, but a lot of stuff like that I don't want to run over. Really don't want to run over that. Okay, coming back down so I can see a little better. I have full control of my curl of the up and down. Everything I really need right here. And I'm idling at my 1600 RPMs. So moving the loader is not an issue. Alright, I'm going to turn around and place these bales on these pallets. I'm going to stack two of them, and I'm going to have two singles. So now I do not feel tippy. I don't feel light necessarily in the back. My power steering is flowing just fine. I can steer all day long. Alright. But yeah, so I'm going to raise this up so I can see my pallet just a little bit. That's good. I can see enough right there. That way I want to get these on the pallet really good because I don't want this sitting on the ground so the bottom of it gets all jacked up and molded. Some people do this, some people don't. It's a me thing. Alright, so we're going to kind of keep an eye on this over here, lowering this down fairly quick. Forward just a little bit. I'm kind of watching this side, that's why the camera's on this side. Those are 4-foot pallets, so I'm just trying to square it up best I can. Alright, now, with my fork system, which is the Vevor 2-prong fork, that plunger level deal is not accurate. That's only accurate for my bucket. So when I come out of here, I don't want my forks up, and I just know from experience where that needs to be pretty much, and it's somewhere right in there. because you come out of this with your forks up, and you're going to kind of jack up your bale a little bit. Let's see if I can see it come out here. Yeah, so there's that. All right, we'll go get the other one and we'll stack it on this one and let y'all see that. So earlier I was telling you about the dimensions and the weights of these things. That first bale we picked, for whatever reason, seems a lot lighter than this one. This one definitely got a little bit more heft to it. I can feel that by just how the tractor, picks it. You can just feel it. So, like I said, the weight on these things do vary. They're not nearly as precise as a small bale situation, but this one is quite a bit heavier. Alright, this might be slightly more difficult than I want to be doing one-handed and whatnot, but we're going to raise this up, stack it on this other bale, kind of like we found it earlier. Too far off, so that's good. It's fairly important that we get these square, just easier to tarp, easier for everything. That looks pretty good to me. I can go a little bit left. Let's go back up. Try and get a little left. Like I said, I'm just trying to show you how fine and minute this tractor can do. I'm not really that worried about being off by an inch or two, but alright, there we go. Foot's holding down the brake and just gonna let down. Pull it out. Stacked too high on that. So if I were to try and get 3 high, let's just say I go 3 high. 3 high to pick that bale is going to have to be roughly picking about a foot above the bottom of the bale. That's about as high as I can go with horizontal forks. Could I do it? Ooh, maybe. Yeah. Do I want to? Not necessarily, especially with no counterweight, because I still have to back up that 4 feet to let it down to travel. So for me, in my operating capabilities, I would say no. All right, I also wanted to kind of give you a before and after of the tires and whatever else you might want to look at of before this thing has a hay bale on there and after, kind of just to see the weight on that front axle and stuff like that. And it's unfortunate my kiddos aren't here, or else I'd have you get some footage of me driving this with a bale on there. But like I said, you're getting a pretty good view from my point of view, which is the one that matters because I'm operating it. But yeah, here's a before shot and I'll get you an after one. All right, so here it is with the bale on. You can see the front tire. It's got a little bulge to it, but nothing out of control. Back tires are on the ground. Apparently that's how we're moving. Let's look at the loader here. Nothing's bleeding off. Everything's looking pretty good. If you got anything other than this you want to see, please let me know in the comments, man. I will do my best to play with bales. I love playing with these. But yeah, TYM 574, man. Getting work done, even with large bales. So we'll keep moving. Well, there we go, folks. As you can tell, the Three Stooges here are ready to get some food. So the TYM 574 did it great, man. It's a compact tractor. It's a large compact tractor that can move big bales. Now, would I want to do it every day, all day, you know, field moving? Probably not. It one at a time really sucks. However, for my needs and small ranch operation, you betcha I'd use it, and I am. Did great. I will tell you from previous experience that if you add a box blade, a brush hog, something off the back end of this, it's much better. It really is. Obviously counterweight, just simple physics, but I wanted to show the capabilities with a bobtail situation. No weight, back tires filled, and did just fine. Do you got to be careful? Anytime you're operating equipment, you got to be careful. Did I feel unsafe at any point? No. If something should go awry, you just have your hand resting on that loader deal, and you just go to full dump. Dump it, fix it later, save your tractor, save your life. But yeah, this was no issue whatsoever as far as I could tell. Thanks for watching, y'all. Comment down below. Let me know what you think I could do better. Obviously, physics tells me I need 4 prongs instead of 2. A bigger tractor, would it help? Yeah, it would. But I don't have a need for a larger 100 horse tractor right now. Granted, this is only 55, but I did want a 5 Series John Deere originally. The new 5 Series TYMs look freaking awesome. I think they're the old 754 or something like that. The 75 horse. I was really looking into that. I just could not justify the price hike for what my needs are now. And when I learned the lifting capacities of this, it was awesome. The tractor that I think would do really, really well at this is that 4058. The 4058P. That when I was looking for this tractor or a tractor, I told my dealer, put a cab on that thing. Tell YM put a cab on that thing, and that's the tractor I want. And bought this tractor. Happy I did. Of course, the next year they put a cab on that other tractor, and so anyways, those are some of the things that I was looking for when I got tractors. Can I move these bales from A to B and stack it just a little bit? And this tractor completed that mission just fine. So again, y'all, let me know what you think. Let me know if there's something I can do better other than counterweight. And heck, tell me I'm an idiot for not using counterweight. I don't care. But I appreciate y'all watching. Love y'all, and God bless.